Think Realty Nation, it's your host, Avi Golhar. Welcome to the Think Realty podcast. Today we're talking about investing in oil and gas. This is something that I've always been interested in learning more about. I have zero knowledge about oil and gas. I'm a private equity, business acquisition, small business owner, blue collar, I'll go buy a plumbing business and then go buy real estate. Like, that's my world. And when I think oil and gas, I think it's reserved for the 0.01% elite America, and I know nothing about it. And so I'm excited to talk to our guest today who specializes in oil and gas investments, and we'll break down the numbers and some economics on some of the deals that he's currently working on, his team, etc. His name is Carson Jones with Passive Investments. Before we get to Carson, I want to give a huge shout out to Real Property Management, the sponsor of today's podcast. You need to make sure you're working with the right property management company to put more money in your pocket and not less. Real Property Management, also, our realpropертymgt.com, provides a higher standard of property management to make sure you're maximizing your returns on investment. Experience a real difference with realpropертymgt.com. Carson, welcome to the show. I've got one question for you. Oil and gas.
All right.
Oil and gas is in my worldview, is very difficult, elusive, somewhat frustrating to break into, and all the while highly profitable. How the heck do you find an oil and gas investment to buy into or to participate in, and what should I expect as an investor from potential returns? And what the heck do I look at? I know there are like 18 questions in that, but I have to start there and complicate your life. So go.
No, that's fine. Keep throwing the curveballs at me. I'm just kidding. No, it's very similar to real estate. All the profits kind of built in on the front end of the deal. You know, what you acquire it for. As far as getting into stuff that's lower risk or it's diversified is kind of what we look for. The only reason it's elusive is a lot of people attempt to go into a single well, new drill that's extremely risky. Our current deal right now, most of the geological risk has been eliminated because it's multiple well, it's already producing, we have well logs, yada, yada. But, it's not easy to find a good deal, same as real estate, especially right now with the number of transactions that are going on in the market. But, we feel like we've, found a winner in this one.
So you say this one, is it one well? Is it one package of 100 performing wells in which state? Help me unpack that a little bit, because you're talking to a guy that's absolutely clueless. Like, I know that I need oil and gas to fuel my car. I've got no idea.
Just to give you an idea of the magnitude here, I mean, it's 4,400 acres. You're looking at anywhere from 30 to 80 wells by the time it's all said and done, because we have multiple pay zones we can go into later on down the line. From an acquisition standpoint, we got this for $1 per barrel in reserves, recoverable barrel of reserves. Just to give you an idea, out in the Permian Basin, they're paying $30 per barrel in reserves. A lot of it is, the publicly traded companies are out there, fighting over it. They like the Permian because it's real consistent, adds a little cash flow, and they add to their reserves. And that's really how a lot of the public stocks are valued. So, we're between the Fort Worth Bend Arch Basin and Permian Basin, out there in the Hardeman Basin near Wichita Falls. But I found a steal. We're getting this for $1 versus $30 in the Permian. And to give you an idea of how expensive the Permian is, it's on a 4,400 acre property similar to the one we have right now. It would cost about $10 million to do 3D seismic on it. So what we have is well logs, which is better than 3D seismic. And, with that being said, most of the geological risk has been taken out of this deal. We have an Exxon study that has 24 million barrels in place. We have maps of where the new drills are. But long story short, we have 6 to 7 reworks. 2 of those we're going into new zones. If they turn out well on the new zones, we're going to go into make it 4 out of those 7 that we're going to go into new zones. And then we have additionally 20 20 new drills utilizing horizontal drilling. So you're looking at about 30 wells that, in the near future that we will be doing. But long term, there's 2 additional zones, so it could keep going, for a very long time. So in terms of building generational wealth, something this big, as far as the number of wells and reinvestment and all that and the tax benefits, you can transfer your interest anytime to a relative or whatnot, but it's got a good long-term horizon for it. So, it's like a Christmas tree with a bunch of presents under it, and ornaments and,
Yes.
just waiting for somebody, because it's got all these little things to it, so.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Fair enough. So as an investor, what should I expect from, say, an operator, and I'm looking at participating in an oil and gas opportunity? What are the basics I need to know? Like okay, so geographic location, total number of wells, the discount to market, dollar per well, the opportunity, the team. So for this particular opportunity, you have a pretty solid team. Is that core engineers? Is that oil and gas experts? How do I qualify that as somebody that's in the real estate space or even PE space to make it sense for me, to make sense for me to put my dollars at work?
Yeah, I understand. Starting from the top end of our organization, our chairman is Dr. Jerry Bailey. He's the former Exxon Arabia CEO. He's been on TV and stuff like that. Our geologist, William Chester, he's been around 50 years, in the oil business, been a VP at various companies, Christopher Cawthron and Paul Cawthron. And then, the Mr. Lyman, they've all done deals, going back 20, 30 years. As far as Falcon Production, which my company is a partner with on this particular deal, it was just started up in 2020. We bought a reclaw gas field out in Cherokee County, Texas, got it up and then sold it, a few years later. So it's just, having a good team in place, that has a history and knows what to look for, what to do and what not to do. These guys have a ton of experience, getting the oil out of the ground. So,
yeah.
On this particular deal, since most of the geological risk has been eliminated, we know where the oil is. What you have is mechanical risk as far as, getting it to the surface, and that's where a lot of experience comes into play. And we definitely have that. So
excellent. So if I want to learn more and possibly get in touch to inquire a bit about next steps, what's the best way to do that? Is there a contact form on your website? Do I schedule a call with you directly? How do I do that?
Yeah, you can schedule a call with me directly on our website, or you can just, it's the year 2023. Last time I checked, you can shoot me a text, my phone number is 214-251-8551, and just say you'd like to, chat about oil and gas. I'm just like any other business owner. I'm in and out all day. So I can make myself available.
Okay.
So.
Great. I've always been a big believer in oil and gas. My wife has always she's always telling me we should get an electric car. I'm like, no, I want my twin turbo V8 engine that cranks out 600 horsepower, because that's what I want.
Yeah. believe it or not, I was a Tesla investor and I did pretty well, so I'm not really stuck to any one industry. I just like
Yeah.
making good, solid investments.
Yeah.
For me on this, here's my thing. Most of the family offices out there, real estate's a great asset class. I love it. I love seeing the point A to point B of the buildings being done and the value add. But, most of the family offices out there, made a fortune in either tech or oil and gas. And then they, go to real estate because it's a safer play.
Yeah.
As far as this, it's got both. This particular deal, it's got a little bit of a safety net for an oil deal, and it has tremendous upside as well. So, and then it's got longevity. So anyway,
Yeah.
and tax benefits and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Briefly touch on the tax benefits, and then we'll close it up. What type of tax benefits should I be expecting as an investor?
You're looking at intangible drilling costs being able to be written off. On the rework phase, you have the acquisition phase, and then you have the new drills and all that. The new drills, it's obviously going to be probably 80 to 100%. The rework's probably going to be about, I'd say 30%, roughly. It just depends what they get into. But in addition to the upfront tax benefits, there's long-term tax benefits as far as, you can write off 15% of your revenue till the end of time. There's no, it's not until you recoup your investment. After you've written off your investment, you can still write it off every year. It's 15% of revenue. It's called a depletion allowance. So anyway. So, I mean, it has outstanding tax benefits. So
Okay. That got my ears perky. I'm very excited to learn more. So I will go to passive.investments, a very cool domain name, by the way. I'm very jealous that you have that URL. Passive.investments. We'll get in touch for sure. And I would encourage anybody that has an interest in oil and gas, of course, as with any investment or with any strategy, you want to make sure that it absolutely makes sense for you. So we have to talk to the qualified people that have the information to help you make an informed decision. Carson is one of those individuals. So absolutely get in touch with him if you want to learn more at passive.investments. And then, of course, you have his phone number. Carson, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it today.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You got it. Think Realty Nation, one of the things that I always want to keep in mind is diversifying my investing strategy, whether it's single family, long-term, short-term, multifamily, self-storage, land, tax liens, etc. I want to make sure that I'm always putting my money to work. One of the ways that I am now considering on doing that is oil and gas. This entire time I have zero idea what oil and gas investments look like, but now I'm fairly confident that I can at least have a foundational starting block of information to go learn more and possibly make it work. So if you've got any questions, get in touch with me at Abi Golhar anywhere online. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Just search me. You can also go to thinkrealty.com. Again, got any questions for the Think Realty team or for myself, absolutely feel free to get in touch. We're here for you. We truly, truly are here for you. We want to see you succeed as an investor, and we have an amazing platform that can enable you to do that by offering education and, of course, building your network. Because at the end of the day, your network is your net worth. Until next time, Think Realty Nation, happy investing.